Good evening, friends. Here is a crisp, highly engaging YouTube video script covering the absolute biggest medical breakthroughs, FDA approvals, and health news for July 28, 2026. Intro: The Game Changers. Imagine treating your ADHD with an entirely new brain mechanism. Or swapping out a painful injection for a daily cholesterol pill. What if we could spot colon cancer through a simple routine blood test? Breakthrough 1, the ADHD and cholesterol FDA shockwave. First up, we have to talk about two massive FDA approvals that dropped just hours ago, completely changing how we treat ADHD and high cholesterol. For decades, standard ADHD treatments have relied on the same basic stimulant pathways. But the FDA just approved centanafidine. This is a first-in-class triple reuptake inhibitor. It targets three major neurotransmitters at once: norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. It opens up a completely new choice for adults and kids over 6 who haven't had luck with traditional medications. Meanwhile, if you or a loved one are managing high cholesterol, you know all about PCSK9 inhibitors, the incredibly powerful treatments that unfortunately required injections. Not anymore. The FDA just greenlit Lifendra, enlicitide, the world's first oral PCSK9 inhibitor. It's a once-daily tablet that lowers bad LDL cholesterol just as effectively as the old shots. This is an absolute quality-of-life victory for millions of heart patients. Drop of blood breakthrough 2, the end of colonoscopies? Simple blood test approved. Let's be honest, nobody likes getting a colonoscopy. It's invasive, uncomfortable, and because of that, millions of people completely skip their cancer screenings. But the FDA just officially approved Simple Screen CRC, a brand new blood-based screening test for adults aged 45 and older. Developed by Freenome, this test was evaluated in a massive study of over 48,000 people. The results? It successfully detected colorectal cancer with an 81.1% sensitivity rate. While major groups like the American Cancer Society still prefer traditional colonoscopies for a definitive look, they are officially backing these new blood tests as a vital alternative for anyone who cannot or will not do the traditional route. This will save lives by catching cancer early through a routine checkup arm prick. Breakthrough 3, Cancer Innovations and Hidden Metformin Brain Effects. In oncology, the Reuters Health Rounds just reported that an experimental drug from GSK and Hansoh Pharma successfully met its main goal in a late-stage clinical trial. It stops an incredibly aggressive form of bone cancer from worsening, providing an immense boost to global cancer pipelines. Additionally, a newly published study in the journal Gastroenterology has finally unlocked a mystery regarding stomach cancer. Researchers found that a specific cellular master switch called the SOX9 transcription factor is the exact trigger that pushes precancerous stomach lesions into full-blown gastric cancer. Knowing the exact trigger means we can now design therapies to lock that switch in the off position. And check this out, researchers just discovered a massive twist regarding metformin, the world's most popular type 2 diabetes drug. For 60 years, scientists thought metformin worked entirely in the liver and gut. But a brand new study revealed it actually targets a hidden control center inside the brain to regulate blood sugar. This opens up wild new possibilities for using metformin to fight age-related brain decline and dementia. Tech and regulation, AI surgery and the gray market peptide verdict. Healthcare tech took a massive leap forward today. Johnson & Johnson MedTech officially launched its Monarch robotic platform in the Middle East, completing the region's first-ever robotically assisted bronchoscopy at Cleveland Clinic Abu Dhabi. This uses highly advanced AI-powered navigation algorithms to let doctors travel deep inside the lungs to catch and treat tumors with microscopic precision. Over in the regulatory world, an emergency is brewing over popular anti-aging and fitness peptides like BPC 157 and TB 500. Millions of people buy these on the gray market labeled as research chemicals. While the FDA's scientific staff strongly opposed them due to a lack of traditional trial data, an FDA expert advisory panel just voted heavily in favor of adding 6 of these major peptides to the official compounding list. They argued that bringing them into legal, regulated pharmacies is the only way to protect consumers from dangerous black market alternatives. Lifestyle and viral health, the coffee and diet truths. Let's wrap up with some news you can use in your daily routine. Good news for coffee lovers, a massive analysis of 355,000 adults from the UK Biobank tracked participants over 13 years. Asterisk the data showed that regular coffee drinkers had significantly healthier livers and a lower risk of liver disease than non-drinkers. The optimal sweet spot? 3 to 4 cups a day. Even better? Decaf showed the exact same protective links, proving it's the healthy plant compounds in the bean, not just the caffeine, doing the heavy lifting. Asterisk but be careful if you are tracking your health using AI food apps. A new study published by Science Daily tested popular AI calorie counting apps and found they underestimated daily totals by up to 345 calories and missed nearly a third of actual fat content. If your weight loss or muscle building has stalled, your AI app might be lying to you. Fragility fractures. Diabetes and weight loss are associated with an increased risk of fragility fractures, which can be associated with substantial morbidity and mortality. In this retrospective study of adults with type 2 diabetes, those starting a GLP-1 drug had a 21% lower risk of fragility fractures over 3 years compared with initiators of a DPP-4 inhibitor. The lower fracture risk associated with GLP-1 drugs was independent of changes in body mass index. MedPage Today. Inflammatory markers. Not a substitute for clinical assessment. Inflammatory markers, such as C-reactive protein, CRP, are often measured in patients with a suspected infection. However, Winter, scientist, cautioned against relying on CRP results in isolation. Some patients with infections, including pneumonia, may have normal CRP levels, whereas elevated CRP levels do not reliably distinguish between bacterial and viral infections. Speaking with Medscape's German edition, Winter said, there is no threshold at which you can say, above this level, it indicates a viral infection, below this level, a bacterial infection. Despite decades of research, no clinically useful cutoff has been established. Medscape. Outro, what's your take? From brain-targeting diabetes drugs to blood tests replacing colonoscopies, the future of medicine is arriving incredibly fast. Which of today's medical updates surprised you the most? Would you swap a colonoscopy for a simple blood test? Let me know down in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who cares about their health, and subscribe for daily breakdowns of the science changing our world. Stay healthy, and see you tomorrow. Disclaimer: compiled information. This content is for educational purposes and is not a substitute for professional advice. The audience must verify the contents before use. The creator, publisher, and YouTube will not be responsible for any harm.